Hello, welcome. I am in my full Nova gear for Nova's Playtime. I just wanted to show what I look like when I do Nova's Playtime. Like I said, I created an aesthetic for the writing that I've been doing for my album, and I do this. Well, I've been doing it more frequently, but I started doing it like once a week, and then now I do it more often. But I feel like when I'm in this, I feel like sometimes I sing better, sometimes I write better. It's like I do become that version of me, because this is the version of me that I envision when my art is already out there, when my album is already done, when my voice is already in its best form. Right now I'm still working on building that. I'm showing up for myself daily with repetition, with these daily habits of practicing every day, of writing every day. I try to write every day, even without expectation, just writing whatever it comes out. It might not be formed into a song or something yet, though I do have songs, but writing without expectation of just whatever comes through, continuing to show up for myself in those ways. That is all what neuroplasticity entails. Like, neuroplasticity entails daily habits, persistence. It's like learning to play a new instrument is a good example of how neuroplasticity works too, because when you start playing an instrument, you're not automatically good at it, right? It's gonna take to keep trying, and that's actually what I've experienced with singing. I'm still not in my best voice. I'm getting there. My voice is getting stronger each time. I sounded a lot worse before. Like, I have footage of that, which eventually I'll show, but it's the constantly showing up for myself, even when I don't really feel like it, even when I don't feel inspired, even when it's boring, because sometimes it can get boring. At least for me, with learning to play the keyboard has been kind of boring for me, in that I still struggle with that, and I'm still working on that. And I'm not looking to play the keyboard professionally or anything, more to help with my songwriting. But even for that, I gotta keep showing up for myself, even when I don't really like to, or when it intimidates me, because the keyboard intimidates me a lot. But it's about staying committed and devoted to myself, to my craft, to the songs that I'm writing, to my purpose. Because I feel this is my purpose, is to create whatever wants to be created through me. It could be songs, it could be artwork, it could be whatever. It's about remaining open even when I don't see the results right in front of me. Because what showing up for myself every day does is it's building that future. That's how I'm building my future, by continuing to show up for myself. Because I can't just decide, hey, I'm gonna be an artist, and then do nothing about it. Like, it requires me to show up for myself, to sing even when I sound bad, or when I can't hit the note, letting myself sound bad, getting through that brief embarrassment, because sounding bad is what eventually will help me sound good. I sometimes have to sound bad in order to eventually sound good and sound better. Like, I have to feel what I shouldn't be doing, and then eventually I'll know how to do it right. Things like that, where allowing myself to be bad and then still show up. Even when I sound bad, not letting that stop me, not letting that be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm not meant to do this because I sound terrible. I've only been doing this for a few months, so it's gonna take time to build the skills, to develop the skills. And if this were me a year ago, I would have already given up because I'm a very impatient person. And for me, if I didn't see immediate results before, it's like, ugh, what's the point? Like, I'm not cut out for this, or I'm not this, or I'm not that. I would make up those excuses in my head, but really it was fear that was talking. That fear of, what if I try and I'm still not good enough, or just all that stuff that I would feed myself and tell myself. And I feel like I've been working so much on my nervous system regulation that now when those thoughts try to come up, I don't let them win. I don't give them attention. I fight it back with, yes, I am good enough. Yes, this is happening. I don't care what anyone outside of me tells me. Like, I've built that foundation within me that I feel is strong enough to be able to be like, I'm going to make this happen no matter what. So, and not in a forceful way either. Like, just in continuing to follow my intuition, continuing to follow the things that feel good to me, that will eventually, I feel like, as long as I continue to do this, as long as I continue to show up for myself, as long as I continue doing what I love, that path will eventually lead me to where I meant to go without me having to force anything, without me having to plan for it. Like, I have no idea where the future is taking me, but it requires a level of surrender that I've never experienced before with the universe, of like trusting that that's where it's going. And I mean, neuroscience is science. It's like proven to give results when you actually put in the work, when you actually keep showing up for yourself, keep being devoted to myself. That's what I keep doing. And I trust that I've already experienced the difference, even from when I first started. I've already noticed an improvement. I've already noticed an improvement in my voice, in my writing. I have a full album of songs that I'm still working on. I'm still working on refining and things like that. But also in trusting that I don't have to force it either. I'm doing this because I love it and because it's fun. That's the main reason why I'm doing this. And if it takes me to somewhere big and good, great. If this is all, if I do it and I stay local in my community, in my local music community, I'd be just as happy, because as long as I get to do this and I get to create and make the music that I love to make and express what I want to express, like, I'm happy. This is my happy place either way. So I trust that as long as I continue to pursuing the joy of creating, of even just playing, of playing pretend. This is like, well, it's more like playing, not pretend, but more playing with intention, because this is the future version of me that I am becoming her now, so that she can help me not just envision the future, but also help me build it with the things that I'm creating, with the things that I'm doing. Because I'll have ideas come through. I've had some writing come through already today, or I'll sing and my voice will sound better. And it's almost like that future version of me is showing me what I'm capable of, when sometimes I don't see it, or sometimes I'm human. I still question sometimes, am I doing the right thing? Does this even make sense? Yeah, I still question it, even though I'm sure this is what I love to do. I still have imposter syndrome come up. I still have those insecurities from the past, right? Even though I've overcome them, they try to come back to kind of try to get me to go back into that old mindset. And that's part of neuroplasticity too, because I mentioned before that with neuroplasticity, like, essentially the old you starts to die away. And so sometimes those thoughts come back to try to bring you back, to make those old neural pathways come back alive. And that's up to us to make sure that we don't let that happen, right? And that's, I know I've mentioned this before too, of releasing all emotional attachments to the past, of things that we're still holding on to. And that's something that came out for me this week, especially after reconnecting with my family and stuff. I noticed some emotional things come up that I'm like, okay, I'm not completely unattached from the past yet. And I'm working on that. I'm working on letting that go because it doesn't serve me any good. I've already forgiven. I hold no resentment for anything in the past that's happened. And so now it's time to just remind my body and remind myself of that when it comes up, of like, no, I let it go. I don't want to hold this anymore. I don't want to hold this pain or these feelings when I've already forgiven, and I'm ready to start new. I'm ready to start new without hanging on to things from the past that might have been said or done that made me start feeling these ways. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like being a kid and playing pretend or dress up or whatever, but with intention, with purpose, with a goal in mind. And for me, it takes away from the worry that I have about the future, or the worry that I have about our society sometimes, of like, instead of doom scrolling and looking at all the ways that shit's might be falling apart, right? That's what it looks like on the outside. And that's all stuff that I can't control. I have no control over that. So why do I want to spend my time and attention being worried about that, when instead I could focus my time on the things that I can control? What can I control? I can keep practicing my music. I could keep showing up for myself. I could keep working on envisioning that future and building those neural pathways and solidifying those pathways to create the life that I want to live, the life that I want to experience. Because our brains, our environment, the things that we experience in our lives are essentially projections of our brain. And that's why neuroplasticity is about shifting and becoming that version that you want to become. And because it's going to change your experience, the way that you view yourself and the world and things like that. And that's why sometimes the things from the past and stuff will come up, because it's like to see if we still have emotional attachments to those things in the past or not. And it's going to be up to us how we react when a situation comes up, maybe a pattern that we didn't realize we still had. That happened to me. I would have people come into my life to reveal patterns that I was still doing. If I wasn't setting strong enough boundaries or something, that person would come back around and try to push my boundaries. And it's like, am I going to stay firm on my boundaries, or am I going to break? And if I would break and give in, then something unpleasant would happen to show me, see, I should have stayed stuck with my boundaries like I should have, and then a situation would happen again. It could be with the same person or with a different person. Again, of am I going to stick to these boundaries or not? And then until I finally stayed firm in my boundaries. And then what happened? That person revealed to be who they really were, of, they were just using me. They were just trying to see what they could get out of me. And I stayed firm in my boundaries. As painful and hard as it was, that's how I let go of the past attachments, of the past patterns that I was still having and still holding on to. And so once I let that go, then it almost feels like it made room for better things in my life. And then something like I have a new opportunity will come through, or like things like that, where it's like, oh, okay, so letting go of that then opened up something new for this new neural pathway or this new life I'm building. And that's kind of how if anyone ever checks out my podcast from the earlier days, where I talk more about spirituality and stuff, and how life is like a video game. That's how, to me, life feels like a video game sometimes, because it's like I'm the character of my video game, right? And then characters will come by to see, like, hey, like, am I still? And so, okay, they go away, and okay, and then, then I've leveled up. I've gone up a level for this I've opened a new level in the game. because I've completed that level. I've completed that challenge, or so to speak, and I'm not saying, I don't really see it as like we get tested by the universe. I more like to call it alignment checks of like, these situations will come up to see, okay, you're saying this is who you are. Are you ready to embody it and prove that you are who you say you are? Because this new version I am would stay firm in her boundaries, right? And so I feel like that's why the situations would come up, as like to see, am I going to stand in my truth of this is who I am, or am I going to go back to becoming the old version of me that would easily give in and not stand firm in her boundaries, and that would overgive and things like that. And that would be draining as hell. So that's more how I say it. I don't feel like the universe tests you to kind of see, oh, what are you going to do? Are you going to pass or fail? I don't think it's a pass or fail thing at all. It's more like, are you truly embodying the person that you are claiming to be, right? Because that's part of neuroplasticity or manifestation. It's, to me, it's the same thing. Different language, same energy of, okay, am I still who I am and who I am living in the end as? I'm living in the end as this version of me. Am I gonna keep acting as that version of me no matter what comes my way? Or am I gonna keep going back to my old patterns? And that's why sometimes people don't advance and things don't come through, because sometimes people are still hanging on to things from their past. And you can't advance, you can't level up sometimes until you let some of those things go. And that really depends on each person. Everyone's journey is different. So this isn't how it is for everyone, because some of us are here to clear some karmas and shit like that for our bloodline, for things like that. So it's not everyone's journey. Not everyone's journey is the same, but some of us are here to break those cycles and break those patterns. And it's not easy, but it's totally worth it in the end. Like, for me, it's been worth it. I've never been this happy and this at peace, despite what's been happening in the world, despite still having no idea where the future is going to take me. But right now, I'm happy. Right now, I'm great. Right now, I'm living my best life. And I feel like reconnecting with my family is kind of part of that alignment check for me of like, am I still gonna be true to myself even when my family's back? Because my family still has this picture of the older version of me, and I've already made it clear to them, like, that's not me anymore. I've changed, I've evolved from that. And I feel like sometimes they still expect me to react like the old version of me, and for me to notice too the feelings that would come up too. Like, that was information for me to notice and to be like, no, I don't want to hold on to this anymore. I don't want to hold on to this pain anymore. Like, I've already forgiven them. I don't want to hang on to this pain, especially if it's holding me back from becoming the best version of me. There's no use in holding on to the pain, right? Instead, I transmute it into my writing, into my singing, into those things. I feel my feelings. Like, I just cried a little bit, and it's funny, every time I put this makeup on, I end up crying. And actually, last time I did it, I cried before I put the tears, and so I was able to put the tear streaks right where I cried, because the tears came right before I was about to apply the tear streaks. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, feel your feelings. I think a lot of us are stuck because we refuse to feel our feelings, because we avoid the feelings, because feeling is hard. It's hard because, especially in a society that has taught us to stuff everything down, right? Or if you cry, you're seen as weak. But tears are transforming. Like, that's how you alchemize the pain into good things for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm all for us just feeling more, because we're missing out on a lot when we don't let ourselves feel, whether that be love, sadness, pain. And feeling the pain is only temporary. It's only in that moment so that you can transmute it, right? Transmute it and turn it into love, into art, into whatever it is that you're building and creating for yourself. You know, feeling the things doesn't mean you have to give them really a meaning or that you have to hang on to it. It's more like allowing yourself to express it. And once you express it, it leaves your body. But if you keep stuffing it down, it's going to stay in your body. And that's what eventually creates pain, illness, things like that. When we stuff our feelings and we're always stressed and worried. Stress and worry also. If you have no outlet for your stress or your worry and it just stays in your body, that also creates illness. That also creates pain, things like that. So it's always better to let the feelings move through your body, because then they're released and they're gone. And use it to your advantage to create and build the things that you want to build. And that's what I've been doing. So I want more people to be happy and to be able to build the life that they want without letting the fear paralyze them. Because that was me for a long time. I let the fear paralyze me for a long time. And now that I finally have been, slowly but surely, this has been a long journey for me, and it's taken a lot of baby steps. And the more steps I take, the more I'm like, oh, I should have done this sooner, or I should have been doing this sooner. But now, the important thing is that I'm doing it now. But I feel like it's never too late for anyone. There's no, oh, I'm behind. I think that everything happens right on time. There's perfect timing for everything. So it's never too late. Time is just a construct. So, it's another thing to keep us worried or keep us stressed about things, about our whole lives revolve around time, about, timing and when and all this. But if time didn't exist, we wouldn't be worried about it. We'd just be living our lives, right? At the end of the day, if I was sitting on my deathbed right now, I wouldn't be saying, oh, I should have worked more, or, oh, I would have been like, oh, I should have started this sooner. I should have done what I love sooner and not cared about what people think sooner. I would have worked more on not caring what people think sooner. You know what I mean? Because I've never felt more alive than I do when I do stuff like this, when I show up for myself, when I sing, when I write. It's when I have felt most alive, when I get to do what I love. And so far, it's been working out for me. It's been helping me grow. It's been helping me advance. And I'm going to keep doing it until I can't anymore. So if anyone needed the motivation, if anyone needed this message, it's for you. So I love you, and you've got this. It's never too late for you. Let's build new neural pathways together. And I'm a big believer in the more people we get to do this, the better society we'll get too. Because I feel like the more people start to do that, to improve themselves and address those patterns and just start believing in themselves, that'll ripple out to society too. You know what I mean? But we just got to start on ourselves. And the stronger we are, the stronger our communities become, the stronger society becomes. Because we'll all be more regulated. We'll all be more happy. We'll be better versions of ourselves. And as better versions of ourselves, we will have a better society. We will have a better world. But it all has to start with us. Because it's the people that create the communities. It's the people that create the society. It's the people that create the world, right? That create the world that we're living in like this. So I think the more that we work on improving ourselves, the more society will improve too. And I feel like that's where we're headed. I have faith in you. You got this. If you feel like no one believes in you and you need someone to believe in you, I believe in you. And you believe in you. That's more than enough. You don't need anyone else to believe in you to do this. But, all right. Have a great day.